When the president read his budget speech and told us that security is his priority, I've not read it line by line, but guess what? Those who have told me that there was no budget for family planning. Does the government understand that underdevelopment is tied and is the major cause of insecurity? Do the governors understand it? Obviously, they don't. So I always tell everybody that the major cause of insecurity and instability is underdevelopment. Unless you fix it, everything is mumbo jumbo. You are just wasting everybody's time. Whether you are the president or you are governors, and governors especially. Because guess what? In Nigeria, people pay too much attention to the federal government. The federal government, it is not their responsibility to build primary schools. It's not President Buhari's job to build primary schools. There are unity schools, but it is not his job. It is the job of local governments and state governments. So we need to be able to scale and understand where this problem starts from, because countries fail community by community, local government by local government. And that is why in Yobe and Borno states, why did they fail first? Because a cluster of local governments failed. Why have Katsina and Zamfara states failed? Because clusters of communities and local governments failed. Why is Niger threat now in northeast and northwest Nigeria? And by the way, it's spreading. Niger, Kaduna, Abuja is not far away. We took the data back 12 years. 12 years ago, there were an estimated 4.4 million children out of school in northwest Nigeria. Just under 3 million in northeast. You know, today, it's about 13 million children out of school. The government says it is 10 million. That they reduced it by 3 million in the year of COVID, when no child went to school. And no school was built. If you believe that, I feel sorry for you. So, if you match the population growth with the number of out-of-school children as a percentage of the population, in about 10 years from now, we will have over 20 million children out of school. The Minister of Education tells us that we have 60 million Nigerians unable to read or write. That's what he tells us. I think it's at least 10 million more. Yes. By the way, 60 million is just a little under the population of UK or France. That is the weight the Nigerian economy has to carry of people that can't read or write. What do we think is going to happen? Every additional year of education that anybody has increases their income potential by 8 to 10%. Tell me the place that is going to suffer the most poverty. That's where the insecurity is coming from. 2/3 of the communities globally, not just in Nigeria, that are in poverty do not have a single woman that has done 6 years of education. With the concentrations in Nigeria, do the state governments understand the importance of gender equality, of girl-child education? The governors are appointing Hisbah and hoping that Hisbah will become the foundation of state police. What is the philosophical difference between Hizbah, Boko Haram, and ISWAP? What? What is the difference between them and people like Governor Yerima that got himself a 13-year-old girl? There is no philosophical difference. The main difference between them, essentially, is that the extremist groups believe in the most backward forms of feudalism, which they try and confuse with religion. Why do I say they are confusing it with religion? Because there are parts of the world that share the same religion that are not as backward. All of them go to Dubai. Qatar is going to host the World Cup next year. By the way, it's a feudal country. They are just trying to introduce something that looks like a parliament. But guess what? Qatar is 2.9 million people. It's the same population as Ali Moshow local government. Ask me how many megawatts of electricity they have. 10,000 megawatts. 10,000 megawatts for 2.9 million people. We are 206 million. We are struggling with 5,000. Where is going to be more developed? Where is going to be more peaceful? Nigeria has a 95% power energy deficit. Why? Because according to global sustainable development standards, you need 1,000 megawatts per 1 million people. So we should be at 200,000. We are at 5,000. Sometimes it is 2,000. When the grid collapses, it is 0.